The other day, I heard a powerful quote. It read, "We shape our buildings. Thereafter, they shape us." And as someone that loves to build in Minecraft, I think that this quote speaks volumes about the game. You see, the other day, I was watching a YouTube video by one of my favorite Minecraft YouTubers. The video is by Flam, and it's wonderfully crafted. And near the end of the video, Flam mentioned something really important about building. He says, "I think that this is the best build that I've ever made." And I was able to sit back and think, wow, you shaped this building, and it's already shaped you as well. Now, most of us know that the shaping of the building in itself is kind of the hard part. Of course, you'll get better with every build that you make, but how do you get better in the first place? Well, today I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience becoming a better builder in Minecraft. Let's start off here by talking about something incredibly important when it comes to becoming a better builder in Minecraft. In order to get better, you're going to have to put in the time and energy. Now, there's much more to be said about the advice of just build more, and I promise you that I have many more thoughts on the topic. But based on my experience, in order to build better, you're also going to have to build more. There's an often cited study about two different pottery classes. Both classes were given a month to create the best pot of pottery they could make. However, they were both subject to different criteria. Class A was told to focus on making one perfect pot for the entire month, whereas Class B was told to make as many different pots as they could in hopes of presenting their best one by the end of the month. And to everyone's surprise, the class that ended up having the better works of pottery was the class that ended up making tons and tons of different pots. Instead of going for perfection, the second class decided to hone the craft, and generally speaking, was able to show more improvement than the class that focused on just one perfect pot. And what this means to Minecraft is that you're not going to grow that quickly of a builder if you only focus on one perfect design. A lot of people will focus one tutorial of a build that they really like, or they'll spend months and months in a creative world making the perfect design so that they can then eventually put it into their survival world. It's really hard to grow with your skill set as a builder if you're only focusing on one build. And so my advice to you is, instead of focusing on one build, I would focus on one build style at a time. That could be medieval, that could be desert, that could be modern, that could be skypunk. In Minecraft, the world is your oyster when it comes to choosing what type of build you want to make. But if you've picked with a medieval theme, stick with medieval for a little bit. Hop in a creative world and see what a medieval cottage looks like, then a medieval tower. And the more and more that you build in this build style, the more that you're going to get an understanding for what the roof shapes look like and what kind of color palettes would go well with a build such as this. And the more that you stick with that build theme, the more that you find advanced tricks in order to make that build look even better. And the cool thing is, once you're finally ready to move on to a different build theme and to try something new, all of the skills, the different roofs, and the different advanced tricks that you've learned, you can then apply to your new build style, or at the very least, it gives you a new eye of perspective about the things that you would like or you would not like in the next build theme that you're making. Speaking personally, as someone that's been moving into building in the desert recently, I've noticed that a medieval roof is one sort of vibe, but if you really want to have a rustic desert sort of architectural vibe, you definitely want to have flatter roofs. Now I know how to make a roof look more sloped if I want to. Along with, I now know a variety of ways in order to decorate the walls of a home. And so my new background knowledge now helps me build in a new build style, and it gives me the opportunity to tweak and fumble around until I find a new build style that I'm happy with. The next thing that I want to talk about when it comes to becoming a better builder is inspiration. Now, if you're struggling to find inspiration on what to build in Minecraft, I do recommend looking around. Give a quick YouTube search for build ideas in the theme that you're looking for, and you'll be exposed to tons of tutorials that you can follow one by one if you'd like. At the very least, it'll give you some reference images to work off. Now, I do think that tutorials do have a purpose when it comes to becoming a better builder, but I would encourage you to move away from them as soon as possible. Through following tutorials, I've learned about a variety of different types of roof styles, I've learned technical skills about how to make window panes, and I've figured out little tricks to make especially interiors look even better. But as we talked earlier, in order to become a better builder in Minecraft quickly, it's important to focus on a build theme as opposed to a particular build. So watch the tutorial, maybe follow along, and then next time try to take some of those skills that you've learned and apply them yourself. Or if you're ready to go, just take the images that you find online and use them as reference images. And besides a Google or a YouTube search, inspiration for building in Minecraft can come from so many different places. Take a walk in the park and maybe you get some ideas for a sort of picnic area that you might want to make. Talk to a friend about the Taj Mahal, and maybe you want to focus on an Indian theme. You're talking with your friends about Mount Everest and you decide that you want to make a place that looks like the entrance to base camp. You're riding the train to work and you think, Wow, it'd be so cool to build a custom train in Minecraft. And these ideas come to mind, I make sure that I have my notes app in my phone open, where I can then make a list that I can come back to and see whether or not a build is appealing to me in the moment. And the last piece of advice that I would give for you today is to make sure that you take breaks. As someone that watches a lot of Minecraft YouTube, it can be easy to see all of these builds be made in a flash of a second. But as someone that also spends a lot of time building myself, I know how many hours it takes to make a build. I can fumble around in one of my builds in a creative world just working at the kinks for 2 to 3 hours. And for a small to medium sized build, it'll take me 3 to 5 hours to collect the resources, maybe another hour or two to prep and terraform the area, and then using Lightmatica, I can usually get a small to medium sized build in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But as you can tell, that's very hard to do in just one day, especially when you add all of the extra details in and you make sure to blend in the area like I do. Back a year or so ago, I would make sure that I would have an entire weekend day to make an incredibly big build. I wanted to make sure that I could complete the entire building within one replay mod cinematic, and so I would sit down at 8 a.m. and sometimes I wouldn't finish until around 4 p.m. And other times, such as with the mega cathedral that I have in season 5 of the Hardcore Kingdom, took multiple days of doing the grind just like that. And although I'm happy with how quickly I was able to get that build up, going forward, I'm going to make sure that I space out my mega projects. Taking a break from building doesn't mean that you have to take a break from Minecraft. You see, human beings really like doing work. The thing is, we need to switch up the type of work every once in a while. So if you're getting burnt out on building, maybe pause the building for the moment, go for an adventure in your Minecraft world. Or if you're out of bandwidth, maybe just harvest some materials. Take the time to step back and think about putting some lore into your world. When I can't build anymore, sometimes I'll just get off the computer and I'll journal and I'll write up some scripts, or I'll write a couple of ideas that I have for upcoming videos, which makes me feel like I'm still getting progress done and I can come back to the build when I'm feeling refreshed. And so make sure that you take breaks, that you go to the bathroom, that you get exercise and get outside. And if you want to keep being unproductive, try to engage with other creative projects. Consider other ways of engaging in the creative process. Now, I still have a long way to go as a Minecraft builder, but I've also come a long way in a short period of time. And I think it's because of these things, focusing on the build theme as opposed to the build in itself, having tons and tons of different ways to find inspiration, along with finding ways to have peace and balance in the building process. I think that these things have allowed me to show up to the table every single day ready to play Minecraft. They've enabled me to challenge myself as a builder and to make some incredibly cool architectural works. If you ever want more in-depth advice, consider becoming a member of the channel. And I'd love to see the things that you build. Consider taking a screenshot and dropping it in our community Discord.